That's very nice.
The following is the agenda for the regular Borough Council meeting of Borough Council Lakes Council Municipal Corporation. I have to say the meeting will begin at 7:30 p.m. on December 11, 2024, in the Municipal Building, 25 Lakes Avenue, Compton Lakes, consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act. The meeting will be open for public comments and shall be in accordance with the terms and conditions of the Borough's Municipal Code.
Please stand for a flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bless this mayor and council as they deliberate on the best of Pompton Lakes. In conformance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed to all, requested and paid for same, and published in Suburban Trends. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah.
Here?
Council President Malone.
Here.
Councilman Booth.
Here.
Councilwoman Chen.
Here.
Councilwoman Taylor.
Here.
Councilwoman Colabody.
Here.
Councilman Bennett.
Here.
With us is sitting with our Borough Attorney David Rutenberg and our Borough Administrator Michael Correll.
Okay, thank you. For our presentation, it's a sad day to see one of our longtime councilmen decide to step down, but Councilman DeWine has decided to move on to greener pastures, I'm thinking, after this.
Being put out to pasture.
Or being put out to pasture, one or the other. So, he's been a vital part of this council for many years, and for a lot of people who don't know, he was put on council for 1 year, for a short time, then was off, and then came back on for another five years after that. Was it 5 years? I got it here.
Yeah, about 5 years.
So some of the highlights before I will come forward and we'll read the dedication is, in all that time you've been on council, you've been involved in a lot of things. He was elected to council in 2016, re-elected in 2019 and 2022, served as council president in 2021 and 2024. He's been in liaison to numerous organizations: recreation, youth, flood advisory, trail committee, redevelopment agency, library, board of education, building inspector, court. But I think the one that stands out the most is he's continuously served as the liaison to the Veterans Committee every year for all the years he's been involved. And that, himself being a veteran, I think it meant something to him to be involved with that. He's been a voice of reason up here at the council. It's always good to have interchange and conversation, good or bad, to make sure we're doing the right things for why we're put in this position and why we're elected. So with that, why don't you come forward, Eric? I'm going to read a little plaque.
No tears. Okay, no tears. Not yet.
Close down.
Well, people have been calling the books out on the wall.
So this is a little presentation, Borough of Pompton Lakes, presented to Eric DeWine, councilman from 2016 to 2024, in recognition of your dedication, service, and leadership to the Borough of Pompton Lakes. Michael Sarah, Mayor of Pompton Lakes Borough Council. Thank you for all the time and energy you put into everything tonight. Go ahead and say whatever you'd like to say.
All right. I have a few things. Let's start off. So, this is an odd year, actually. 2024 is an odd milestone in a lot of ways. A little over 20 years ago, I was deploying to Iraq through Fort Dix, New Jersey, with an aviation support battalion, part of the 42nd Infantry Division, headquartered out of Brooklyn, New York. One of my responsibilities as the battalion logistics officer was as the unit movement officer, which meant I had to make sure every vehicle, weapon, and piece of equipment that we owned got loaded onto a ship at the Port of Philadelphia and made its way to Kuwait. Nearly every day, Master Sergeant John Hedgie, Sergeant First Class Victor Morales, and myself drove back and forth between Fort Dix and Philadelphia for this work. At one point that fall, there was this big deployment ceremony at Trenton War Memorial because the 42nd Infantry Division, which had lost half of its force in World War II, hence the half rainbow patch, was being deployed to battle once again. And while this was going on, there was John, Victor, and myself marking connexes and vehicles to make sure our battalion had everything we needed to successfully complete our mission. When I returned from Iraq over a year later, it was much the same, landing at McGuire Air Force Base tarmac in the middle of the night, well after most of the division had returned and scattered back to civilian life, getting not much more than a salute and a handshake from a brigadier general as we came off a 17-hour flight. I was okay to do my job without any pomp and circumstance. Tonight I would have been okay just showing up to the council meeting, fulfilling my duties, and finishing out my term much the same way I did in my deployment. I think anyone who knows me would agree that it would have been preferred. But when I saw my name at the beginning of the agenda, I figured I wasn't going to get away with that. So you all have to listen to her speech. I will try to make the rest of this shorter than my preamble, but there are no promises. Deb and I moved here in 2007, buying a townhouse in the Highlands. We chose this town because of its small town atmosphere and a recently completed master plan that was aspirational in many ways. The way it wanted to redevelop, improve transportation, and enhance its open space and recreational opportunities. What else would you expect from an urban planner? Who else looks at a town's master plan to decide if this is someplace they'd like to live?
Not many.
Not many at all. Fast forward to 2015 and my first election campaign. Mike was running for his first election as mayor, Terry Riker for election, and myself to fill Mike's council seat. We were affectionately or not so affectionately referred to as the carpetbagger ticket, since none of us were originally from Pompton Lakes. That idea never really felt like it rang true for me, and I'd guess that Mike would agree as well. I didn't get to choose where I grew up myself. I was born and raised outside Syracuse, New York. But I did choose to move here and get involved with this community. And I chose to raise Serena and Danielle here. I really thought I was going to make it, but no chance.
No rush.
They say you grow where you are planted, and I found a wonderful place to raise a family in Pompton Lakes. Though I was 28 when I moved here, this town has become my home. I wouldn't trade that decision for anything. Some people have used this speech to tout their accomplishments or the progress Pompton Lakes has made during their time in office, talking about the things that feel a bit awry too. Talking about things like that feels a bit awry to me too. They make good talking points for re-election campaigns, and while I'm mostly proud and satisfied with the work I've done during my time on council, anything that was done over the last 9 years belongs to the residents of Pompton Lakes. My efforts were to make my community better for my family and my children, and every person who opts to raise a family here, and for their children, and anyone else who, like me, was fortunate to find Pompton Lakes and plant their lives here. Rather, I'd like to express my gratitude to the people I've worked with and learned from, interacted with during my time on council. I started as a volunteer in 2008 on the Environmental Protection Committee, meeting very early on, and the Open Space Committee, where I met Councilman Ellis Marples, and I got to know Mayor Katie Cole. Not long after, I got to know Rick Steele, who I counted on as a mentor and showed me what it meant to govern from this position. I worked closely and almost ran with Mike Simone, and was eventually replaced on the 2010 ticket by Bill Begg, an institution himself. I was fortunate to serve with all of them again for a number of years and took as much history in the workings of Pompton Lakes as I could get. Eck, Maria, Jennifer, Bobby, and Lisa. It has been a huge privilege to serve with all of you in the council. Randy, you have nothing but my respect and best wishes in replacing me. Governing is not easy. Taking the right path is not always clear. And anyone who decides to serve, whether for 3 years or multiple terms has my utmost respect. I know all of you will continue to do your best. Mike, thank you for your leadership as mayor. I've been grateful to serve as your council president twice in my time here, and I recognize the hard work you put in your position and the challenges we have seen these last 9 years. I know you will all continue to serve our community faithfully. Thank you to Liz, our clerk, who makes us look prepared. Usually it's twice a month. It has been wonderful working with you from the council, and if people don't already know, you are such a dedicated and integral part of our community. Dave, thank you for your legal advice and keeping us usually from stepping on our own feet. I'm immeasurably glad we brought you back. Michael, if there's one thing I'd like to take some credit for, it's actually making the decision to call you and encouraging you to apply for the position. I'm very glad I did it. You may not be at times, but I am. All kidding aside, you have taken care of so many things and provided a level of professionalism to the position that greatly benefits our town. I'm almost done, I promise. I want to acknowledge all the volunteers I have served with over the years on so many committees, boards, and commissions. I have truly enjoyed our work and our conversations with the idea of making Pompton Lakes a wonderful place to live. Sometimes I know the efforts can feel slow and maybe even thankless, but your dedication really pays off. Thank you to our borough employees, our police, our fire, our first aid squad, CERT, Al Evangelista, our OEM. They say it takes a village, and sitting in a council seat gives you a real perspective on how much work people put in to make Pompton Lakes what it is. All your work is invaluable. Finally, and most importantly, thank you to my family who have supported me the last 9 years, and 7 years before that as a volunteer. It takes a lot to make things work, and we are a busy family as it is. To that point, Daniela just finished her dance class. Serena is at a rehearsal in Midland Park for Beauty and the Beast, playing this weekend, and Deb is probably on her way to get her as we speak. We don't stop moving. I am looking forward to doing some of that running around now too. This doesn't feel like goodbye. I have no doubts you'll see me. I'll find new ways to serve. And to everyone up here, I will always be available to any of you to talk whenever you need. Thank you all for making the last 9 years of my life.
Deep breath, buddy. Deep breath.
Is that what I'm supposed to do? Deeply rewarding and personally enriching. I am truly grateful to have been given this opportunity to be a small part of what makes Pompton Lakes such a wonderful place to live. All right. I know everybody is waiting for a second, wondering if I'm finally done talking. I really am now, but thank you.
The sad part is he makes me old because his kids were the youngest kids on the council when I started, and now they're going to college. So that's not a good sign for me. But congratulations and thank you for all the hard work and everything you've done. Thank you so much. Okay. Motion to open the meeting for public comments.
Motion.
Councilwoman Aldori, Councilwoman Kilberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Now's your chance if you'd like. Yes. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Thank you. Paul Stockton, 156 Gardner Road, and I'm also with Silk City Films. Before I say anything, I'd like to thank you, Councilman Bullock, for your service. I kind of feel like unless you sat up here on the dais, that you truly cannot understand the exercise and frustration that this can be. And so to do it for that many years, truly commendable. And also, I'm a veteran myself, so thank you for your service in that regard as well. I appreciate it. I want to thank the council for your participation in this film. I hope that you wore something for your interview that you're comfortable being seen in for the next 30 or 40 years, because you will be seen for the next 30 years. But make no mistake, time is about to stop for you, okay? Because what's going to happen every time somebody Googles Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, you're going to see this film and you're going to see you. You are going to be the mayor, basically, for all of time.
Great.
You are going to be a council person for all of time. Anytime somebody looks, okay, in all the towns that we've worked, this has been the end result. But also, more importantly, what they'll see is how beautiful of a town that Pompton Lakes is. So before today, before I got here, I sent an email to all of you, and a couple of you I have yet to put on your addresses, but want to extend an invitation to the VIP presentation that's happening. We're going to be pre-screening the film the day before. It's going to be at the shop. It's a, I invite you guys all to be, as you are, the governing council of the town. And I certainly hope that you'll come to the red carpet event and walk the red carpet and be interviewed. And that's going to be an exciting time for Pompton Lakes. The feedback that I get is incredible, that, people are going to enjoy it. But you know what? I know that right now we won't be able to fully appreciate what we're doing. I know that it's going to take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road before we can look back and say. And I know that, you guys have always been supportive of like the Historical Society and everything. It's important to document your history. It's important when people Google Pompton Lakes that they see a beautiful place and not just anything negative, right? That's what we've done here. So I wanted to make myself available today to answer any questions last minute that you may have. Or to answer any questions about the event or anything at all.
So the way this works, but I'll let anybody ask if they have a question.
Sure.
Normally, I answer them all at the end, but if anybody has a question now, you can ask away. I will tell you that, and I will let you know, our menorah lighting is the same day at 6 o'clock for the pre-screening.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably get there, whoever's going to menorah lighting, I know I will be at the menorah lighting, a little late, so I don't know what time you plan on doing that, but...
Well, the event starts at 6, and it's really kind of a networking event for the people who are the dignitaries in the town and also the sponsors of the film and everybody that's really like an actor in it, people who have appeared in it, they're all invited. So we're not going to really show it until about 7, something like that. So there's going to be a time.
Okay, great. Any other questions, Paul? Thank you for your time and energy for putting into it. Thank you so
guys are
much.
welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public would like to address? Please step up.
Randy Hinton, 443 Montclair Ave. My next to last time at the podium.
I'm going to miss you.
I knew I'd get some applause. But I just want to say it again, also, thank Eric for all your time here, for all you've done for all the people of Pompton Lakes. You've been an asset to this council, and I just want to thank you for that. I had a question on Mike Simone, Commissioner for Redevelopment.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still going to be on the planning board? He's going to hold 2 positions, or
We'll talk about
is
that.
that a conflict? Also, I had a question on we've been asking for a couple of months now about the handrail on the front steps in front of the building. I don't know, is that on, is it coming about? And was the forest health survey, has that been completed? Has that been done? And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Please step up.
Michael Riga, 56 Spruce Street. I just want to say thank you to Councilman DeLine for his service in the military and on the council. I sent you guys all an email probably about 2 months ago now regarding Spruce Street. I'm sure you've heard it from some other residents too. I know it's been talked about already with road paving, and I just wanted to say it here again, just like in my email. That road, I've been there for 21 years, no attention has gone to it. There's potholes everywhere, we've had the water main replaced, there's sinkholes all across where that was done, which actually can go 3-4 inches deep, just a dip in the road. All the storm basins, they're overgrown, their curbs are beat up. It really needs the attention of the town. According to my neighbor, she's been there since the 80s, and it wasn't paved when she moved in. So, I mean, it's probably, in my opinion, one of the worst roads in town. It's a small road. It was supposed to be done years ago. We've been promised for years and years. And please just pay attention to that road when you're making your lists, or if you find extra money, or even if there's a road that's better, that's on your list, how about you switch it with Spruce Street? But again, thanks for your time, and thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Second.
Council President DeLine, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Mr. Hinton, we'll start with the handrail. The way I understand it from our building department, and Mike, maybe you could jump in, it's all up to code. There is no real issue to put anything there. He said that it falls within code. Mike, do you have anything to add about that?
If we were to replace the handrail, certainly could be needed. It's not in the budget, so we
Not in
have
the
to
budget.
budget it for next year.
Okay, you had asked about, Mike Simone, there's no legal reason why he can't be. In the past, we've had people do both positions. And the tree survey, Mike, I'll let you speak about that.
Yes, we received the signed grant agreement from the state last week, so we expect to get started on that soon.
Okay. Mike, Spruce Street, I did actually make a call to the DPW to try to have them fill in the potholes. I don't know if they got there yet, but could we follow up, Mike, with Dan, just to see if he can spruce up Spruce Street? But paving-wise, I don't know where it falls on the list. Do we happen to know where it falls?
We're deliberating right now.
Okay, so we're looking at, our engineers drive all the streets, and they'll rank them from worst to best. And of course, the worst ones would get addressed first. But the other things you addressed, we could probably address now. But just keep in mind, when they fix the potholes, you might have to recall, because that patch doesn't stay a long time until they.
Fix on the potholes myself.
Yeah, so to be aware, and they'll go back and patch it if they have to. So just keep in mind, but we'll take a look, we'll have Dan, our supervisor, take a look at it. Okay, thank you. Motion to approve the following minutes. Special closed meeting minutes, November 13th, 2024. Regular meeting minutes, November 13th, 2024.
So moved.
Council President DeLine, Councilwoman Kilberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Authorizing the payment of bills as listed below. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Councilman Venon,
Second?
Councilwoman Kent, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Consent agenda, anybody need anything removed? No? Okay, Liz.
Whereas the mayor and the borough council of the borough of Pompton Lakes review the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, whereas the mayor and borough council of the borough of Pompton Lakes does not desire to remove resolutions for individual action from that agenda. Now therefore be it resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. Resolution 24-432 through 24-449.
Motion to approve the resolutions.
Motion.
Councilman Venon,
Second?
Councilwoman Kilberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, ordinances.
Ordinance for second reading and final adoption has been posted on the municipal bulletin board and advertised. Ordinance 24-41, an ordinance amending chapter 13 of the revised federal ordinances of the borough of Pompton Lakes and updating the requirements for certain road opening permits.
Motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 24-41.
So moved.
Councilwoman Polidori, Council President DeLine, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like to address just this ordinance? Seeing no one, motion to close the public comments on ordinance 24-41.
So moved.
Council President DeLine,
Second.
Councilman Venon, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 24-41 for final adoption.
Motion.
Councilman Venon,
Second.
Council President DeLine, roll call, please.
Councilman Deloy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Ordinance 2442, an ordinance amending Chapter 11 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Compton Lakes regulating the issuance of permits for events in public parks.
Motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 24-42.
Motion.
Council President Deline, Councilman Venon, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like to address just this ordinance? Seeing no one, motion to close the public session on ordinance 24-42.
So moved.
Council President Deline,
Second.
Councilman Venon, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 24-42 for final adoption.
Motion.
Councilman Venon,
Second.
Council President Deline, roll call, please.
Councilman Deloy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Okay, under my report, I have a motion to appoint Michael Simone as Commissioner to the Redevelopment Agency to fill an unexpired term to December 31st, 2024. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Bennett,
Second.
Councilwoman Kent, roll call, please.
Councilman Deloy,
No.
Councilwoman Kim,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert,
No.
Councilwoman Polidori,
No.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
No.
Okay, that does not pass. Can I add another motion to add someone now, or it has to go on the...
Anyone can raise a
Okay.
motion, yeah.
So I have another gentleman who has approached me at the last open space meeting. His name is Matt Zink. He lives at 49 Pompton Avenue. He's an engineer for Sussex County. He's interested in being on the redevelopment agency, so I'd like to make a motion to appoint Matt Zink to fill the expired term on the redevelopment agency for December 31st, 2024.
Motion.
Councilman Benning, Councilwoman Kent, roll call, please.
Councilman Deloy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, under my report. Very busy month, December, for weddings. I did about 8 weddings just in December. A lot of us here, I think all of us actually, went down to the League of Municipalities. The League is a situation where you can take some classwork and you can meet with your peers to learn about how they do things. And I had numerous meetings with numerous mayors of other towns and administrators on how they do things, and hearing how people do things in different regions really helps you get a better perspective on how you're looking at things when you do them. You know, we're in a little bubble up here sometimes, and when you hear how they do it maybe in South Jersey, and you go, oh, that's not a bad idea. It's an interesting way to approach it. So it's always good to sit and chat and understand what's going on. I went to the mayor's luncheon, which I think there was 300 mayors there, all at a table, sitting there chatting, and they had guest speakers. So it was interesting. Speaking of that, I was invited today to have a meeting by the governor about the drone activity, but I had to cancel because we had our council meeting, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be back. I did speak to some mayors who went down. Unfortunately, the governor who called the meeting did not show up to the meeting.
Oh, shameful.
But they did have Homeland Security there and some other people, and they're going to do some more investigation and see what's going on. We do have some reported drone action here. I will tell you that. It is being reported. Our police department put out a preamble letter just stating we're aware of it. There's not much we can do. The state doesn't have the authority to actually shoot them down or take them down or do anything like that. It has to come from the federal. So more to come with that. There has been calls here in Pompton about drones, I will tell you that. And the mayor of Oakland called me yesterday. He had just seen some come over, so he actually was one of the mayors that went down to the meeting. And he said, unfortunately, I drove all the way down to Trenton and didn't learn much about what was going on down there. I had a meeting with the administrator with the sewer authority about the smell. I thought it was a productive meeting. I think one of the suggestions we made, which they did listen to, was to go back to having a post on social media so at least they can address to the residents what the issue is. They are saying they understand there is a smell down there now. The last time we met, there was kind of maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. Right now, they're saying there is, and they're investigating it, more to come. They're staying on top of it. We luckily have our own secret agent down there who's able to go down. Michael drops his child off down there for daycare, and he's able to tell me if it smells that day or not. So with the MUA, we said to them, when he smells something, he's making a call. So that's where we left it. We are trying to address it. Now, remember, we don't have a say over the MUA. They're an independent organization. But I've been down there. There's something going on down there. There is something going on down there. We have our screening that we heard about for the movie. There's also another gentleman trying to make a movie here in Pompton Lakes. We met with him and the school board. He's interested in making a movie from the 60s. More to come on that. I attended a personnel meeting. I went to the bench dedication at the library. Very nice to see the family there and the dedication and the women's club. I thank them for putting that together, and Councilwoman Kent to run that. It was a very nice ceremony. Again, with the administrator, I had a great meeting with the administrator of Wayne, and I had talked to the mayor of Wayne previous to this about this. The Wayne has purchased the YMCA in Wayne. We're going to work out a deal that our residents are going to be allowed to use the YMCA down there at the residential rate that the Wayne residents are paying. And it really isn't that expensive. Michael and I took a tour. It's a beautiful building. It has a pool, an indoor track, indoor pickleball, squash balls, basketball courts, classwork, a beautiful weight room, and many things you can do in there. A lot of classes. We're still working out the logistics of how it's going to be. It's off of Ratzer Road there. It's not too far from here. I think one of the aspects that I think the public will enjoy is they offer swimming lessons for children. So that's a big plus for us since we don't have that here. So I have to thank the mayor of Wayne and the administration for at least listening to us. We did bug them, and Councilman DeLine was also part of that decision. He had heard about it. And so I think it's going to be a good agreement. And we haven't worked out the prices, but it's roughly, $30 to $40 a month to use the facility, depending on what you're going to do in there. If you want classwork, it might be a little less, more. If you're a senior, it might be a little less. So more to come, but I think it's a great setup. I attended the Chiefs dinner. All the chiefs from Passaic County meet, and they have a dinner and discuss. It's interesting to talk to some other chiefs that are local to us. I got to meet the new chief in Bloomingdale and in Wanacue, so that's nice to see. The holiday stroll. Of course, the holiday stroll is one of my favorite events, and not because of all the things that go on, but it's the fact that everybody's just sitting there talking to their neighbors and hanging out with people in the street. That's really what Pompton Lakes is about to me. It's about the fact that we're walking down the street, you see somebody you coached with 12 years ago, and you have that conversation about how things are going. So it's always a good event. I have to thank all the groups involved. The BID who puts that organization puts it on, the band, the choir. The fire department. I have to thank Santa Claus, who spends a lot of time with our children. He came down and did a great job. And it's just an all-in-all nice day. We didn't really have any issues. It was very crowded. A lot of activity going on in the street, and I heard from a couple of the restaurants, they were packed. And really, at the end of the day, that's one of the reasons we do this event, is to get people into the restaurants and into the shops. So that's a nice thing, and it was always a good thing. Myself and Councilwoman Kilberg attended the rec dinner last night, which they've been doing for a very long time. I'm sure she'll talk more about that, but it's always nice to see them get together and enjoy the holidays. And that is my report. The last report of Council President DeLine.
Well,
You have nothing to say, right?
I think we can agree. I spoke long enough. No, just real quick, the holiday stroll was an amazing event. Thank you for everyone who put that on. And to that point, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year. And that is my report.
Wow. Okay. Councilwoman Polidori.
Thank you. I also have a short report. I want to start off by it's the holiday season, my favorite time of year in Pompton Lakes. I hope everyone had a very nice Thanksgiving and enjoys their holiday, Hanukkah, and however you celebrate season coming up. Happy New Year. We don't meet again until the new year. The holiday stroll was amazing, as always. Thank you to everyone that worked so hard to put that together. I think it was actually really well attended this year. Really well, right? It was a beautiful day. So thank you to everyone that helps with that. We did have curling this year, which was interesting.
And a mariachi band.
And a mariachi.
People like the mariachi.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
And we happened to eat in one of the new restaurants that just opened too, which was really nice. So I hope we continue to see new businesses come into town and stay with us. I attended a PTA holiday dinner that actually covered 3 of our schools in town, so it was a packed house, and it was nice to see so many parents get together. A personnel meeting, a dedication for a bench at the library. I also participated with 2 of the other council people in a filming for the movie that's coming up for Pompton Lakes. Also attended League of Municipalities. That's always a great time to network, meet new people, attend some lectures, learn, bring back some information. Open space, we had an earlier meeting tonight that covered a bulk of what was discussed at open space. And I want to remind everyone that this weekend, the Toys for Tot train rolls through Pompton Lakes. Every year we seem to improve it a little bit, so we do have both decorated first aid and fire trucks coming. There'll be a scene setter set up for family photos. We are rerouting the way that we take pictures this year so that it's not as congested for people that are helping to load the train. Working with another family who's very involved in the project, who has worked with the schools to bring out both the band and the chorus. Scouts will be there, hot cocoa. So it's going to be a great day. We start a little earlier. We're starting at 12. Crafts, rec will be there giving out candy, so I hope everyone can join us. It's a little bit more than just the festivities and the fun and pictures with Santa. The mission is to help serve underprivileged children that the Marines do deliver all those toys for, so please bring your unwrapped gift for boy or girl to load onto the train to be distributed by the Marines. And I'm not going to cry. I went through this in my head a couple times, so I'm going to try really hard, but I was elected to fill a council seat in 2018, and you were the first council member, maybe I will cry, that I ran with. And you come up here knowing nothing, and to have a mentor like Eric to stand by my side. I can't even remember how many.
Yeah,
really,
you still always listen.
1 o'clock in the morning, oh my God, what do I do now? Phone calls. He was so patient and kind to me and supportive, and we worked on a lot of projects together up here. And it's not every day that you participate in something like this with people that you don't know before you get here, and have the pleasure of not only working with them in an enjoyable capacity, but also at the end, someone that you can say has become a friend to you. So you are an invaluable member of this team, but you're also a friend. And I'm going to take you up on your offer to stay in touch. So whatever it is that comes next for you, I hope you make the best of it. Thank you for everything that you've done for us, and I wish you the best of everything.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And that is my report.
Thank you. Councilman Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. Hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. The holiday stroll, I'll just reiterate or echo my peers' comments. I had someone refer to it as a Winter Pompton Day, because as you mentioned, Mayor, a lot of the neighbors come out. We're just hanging out and talking with our friends and neighbors. At the League of Municipalities, I attended a class that actually acknowledged our Historic Commission. We had one of the slides, 2 of the slides actually, covered Pompton Lakes and what our chairperson is doing, what our commission is doing to drum up interest and keep our Historic Commission and our history alive. They had their holiday dinner last night, the Historic Commission. I had another obligation, so I was unable to attend. There was a trail of maintenance on the 24th of November. It was lightly attended, but there was not much work to do, luckily. Some trash, but not much else. Lastly, Councilman DeLine, you served as my mentor as well. You helped me get on the council. I remember when our kids were still very little, you, myself, and Councilman Cruz, before any of us were council members, were in my backyard, and we're discussing that our borough website needs some updating. It looked like it was from the 1990s with a bunch of texts and just links to everything and everywhere. And one of the first things Councilman DeLine did when he got on the council was to form a technology committee. And you listed some heavy hitters, a lot of tech folks, but it was balanced. It wasn't just technology heavy people. You had some folks that had experience in other aspects. And with that, we were able to put out the first version of the website and select a vendor and pick the color palette. And then Michael Corelli updated it recently refreshed it basically, but
It looks okay.
but Councilman DeLine was the catalyst to get that website updated. So thank you for that, and thank you for your being a mentor. as well as serving not only our community, but our country. You'll be missed, Eric. And that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Cruz.
I don't necessarily have a report tonight, everybody. I do want to say just a couple of words. We actually have two individuals who I consider friends, close friends, I've known for many years and have been committed to this community for so long. So Tracy Siopa, for those of you who may not know, she's the president for the Board of Education here in town. She has also resigned as well.
No, she didn't resign, she just didn't run, right?
Well, she didn't run again, but she's stepping down. I worked with her for about 9 years. She's an amazing individual, great family. I wish her well. And for you, my buddy, it looks like you got everybody on council. Because, shortly after, stepping down from the Board of Ed, we had a conversation, right? And, he does a really good job. He does a really good job. But, I'm fortunate enough to be here, but call everybody here friends. And we've been friends way before any of us got on council. And I hope we could always remember that. And in particular with you, buddy, we've been friends for a long time, the kids and everything. And I just want to thank you, not only for what you did here, but, for those times when we needed to have that heart-to-heart conversation about how to move forward, council, things of that nature. And just general friendship, man. You've been a good bud. All right? Take care. And that'll do it for my report, man.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Kemp.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to wish Eric the best. I tried my darndest to have you not step down and to run, but you did not listen to me, but that's okay, because I understand. When I first met Eric, he was exactly what he said. We were on the Environmental Protection Committee. I think we were at the river cleanup, and he came up to us. He goes, "Oh, I really love that master plan," which I was a part of. And I went, "Somebody actually read that?" Somebody read that, 50-page thing. I said, "I guess it was worth it then." And you ended up being really an amazing part of the environmental community that we have here today. You served on the Open Space Committee, and you served on the Environmental Protection Committee, and you've done an amazing job. I personally like to call you Hercules because he can lift, 400 and something pounds out of nowhere. And you are my neighbor, and I know Lloyd and I both consider you a friend. And you're an excellent councilman, and I wish you the best in whatever you decide to do, and your family.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My report tonight, I just wanted to address Paul Basanti. He spoke about the movie. About 5 years ago, I met Paul, I believe at the river cleanup. We meet a lot of people at that river cleanup. And we were talking about a movie, and I realized that he did movies for legacy for other communities, Wayne, I think Bloomingdale, and most recently Totowa. And I said, Paul, one of the things we should do is make one for Pompton, because we have a big historical community, and we have a lot of beautiful buildings and stories to tell. And we talked to the mayor. Unfortunately, COVID hit. That kind of put us off. But he never forgot, and I never forgot. And so I want to thank you very much for friendly, tolerable characters. And people don't know what that means, but we talked about that. It's a trailer from the old 1950 movie, and that's how they introduced the movie with those words. So it was genius, I think, Paul. But more important, now when people go to Pompton Lakes site, they're going to get content, which is what you always said that we needed. That's positive about the site, about Pompton Lakes. So I'm really looking forward to it. In addition, now, our radio station is for sale, and Paul now is sponsoring a podcast. And he will hopefully be a part of this. If this radio station thing works out, I'm hoping that you continue on your radio. You have a great voice for that. And it's all positive for Pompton Lakes. It's all positive. So I want to thank you very much, and I will be at your red carpet, and I did buy a new dress for that. I want you to know. So thank you. So back in November, we did have an open space meeting. I just wanted to let everybody know this open space project with the baseball field started in 2017. And at the open space meeting, there was about 30 to 32, I think over 30 people attended the meeting, a lot of the baseball folks, but there were other people there that were concerned with the project, either going through or not going through. And I want to thank Alex our engineer who spoke earlier, I wrote his name down, Alex Petrowski, and our administrator, Mike Corelli. They gave up their time that night to come and explain exactly what was needed to do in order to make sure that those funds from the Passaic County Open Space group actually are given to us. It's quite a bit of money. And so we talked about that at length. And I want to thank you very much for getting up your night. I think I got home at 9 o'clock after that, and then that's when we all discussed it amongst the open space committee folks. Just so you understand, the permit that was issued by New Jersey DEP was a waiver. It was based on a waiver, which means that some of the environmental issues were waived because we filed a hardship. And that's why there's a little bit discussion about the environmental impact and then the need for the recreation. So, in my opinion, everybody's opinion on whether they should have had it or had it is valid, very valid. But what happened was, in order to go forth with the project, with the recreational project that we needed, we really did have to have state approval, and we did. And it did cost quite a bit of money. And I'm very glad that tonight the council supported that. So I do appreciate that, because that was a long time coming. The Flood Advisory Board was concerned, and I believe Councilwoman Kilberg read their report last month, and that's a very valid report too. So I think what we have to make sure as a council, and our engineers have to make sure, is that whatever restoration project we have in this permit that allows us to build these fields is done properly. Those trees have to, they have to last, and they have to really take off and absorb some of that flood water that will come. So that's one of our responsibilities by putting this project together as a council and as a governing body. So I wanted to just update everybody on that. And I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Jennifer and Councilman-elect, yeah, Randy, for being to that meeting and expressing your concerns. And I think we'll get a better project when everybody has input, which I would think we're going to have. I attended the Shade Tree Commission monthly meeting, and the commissioners wrote and approved an advisory letter, which I am, as their liaison, I'm going to read into the public record. And let me just grab that letter. Hold on one sec. Okay. We call it a letter of advisement, and it was sent to our administrator, our mayor and council, our Pompton Lakes Flood Advisory Board, our Open Space Commission, the Environmental Commission, or DPW, and they will be sending it to DEP, Land Use and Permitting. So, Mayor, I'm going to read that into the record. As residents of our town and Shade Tree Commissioners as well, we are writing to express our strong opposition to the proposed Willow Field project. We believe that the implementation of this project, which is particularly within the floodway, surely sounds exciting, however, is no doubt ill-advised and will have detrimental effects on our community and its natural environment. The proposed plan to build a ball field and walking track around Willow Field, coupled with the removal of 75 to 100 mature trees and their replacement with 1,900 smaller plantings, raise serious concerns amongst our commissioners and the wider community. The location of the proposed project directly within the floodway is alarming, considering the flooding issues our town already faces. Introducing additional infrastructure in this vulnerable area could worsen flood and put surrounding properties and residents at increased risk. Furthermore, the removal of mature trees to make way for the ball field and walking track will result in a loss of a critical ecosystem. Trees provide vital benefits such as flood mitigation, air purification, wildlife habitat, and aesthetic enhancement. The proposed 1,900 plantings, while beneficial in the long term, cannot adequately replace the functions and benefits provided by mature trees. We urge the mayor and council to reconsider this project and explore alternate locations and designs that do not compromise the health and resilience of our community and its natural environment. Alternative approaches that prioritize the preservation of our existing tree canopy and minimize disruption to the floodway should most definitely be explored. Thank you for considering our concerns. We are available to further discuss this matter if you wish and collaborate on alternate solutions that will benefit our community while safeguarding our ecosystem. And it is signed by Ann Testinelli, she's the chairwoman, Randy Hinton, he's the co-chair and commissioner, Pete Altieri is the treasurer, Madeline Denti is the secretary, and Alexa Reed is the grant assistant. So that, I read that into the record. Okay, and I do thank them. They do a lot of work for our borough as well. They, for an instance, they only are required to do like 8 hours of some courses. We, right now, between all of them, have 44 hours. It's a huge amount for a volunteer. Then they get no money to do this, and they know every tree in the borough. So I'm very, very proud to be a part of that group. Okay, so I also attended the League of Municipality, and I brought back a lot of goodies and junk that all the vendors give away, and most of that is going to be going to Open Space and Environmental, and I'll be sharing that tomorrow night at the Open Space meeting. I did also attend the personnel meeting, and I signed all the hundreds of bills that we have. I also attended the Pompton Lakes Prevention Coalition Holiday Party. It was very well attended, and there were a lot of young high school kids and young adults that go to that, and they celebrate and eat pizza and soda, and that was a lot of fun to be there with them. Mayor, you talked about this a little bit. Our police department issued a public advisory regarding the drone activities cited over the past few weeks. They ask that you report any drone activities to the FBI, which is 1-800-CALL-FBI, or online at tips.fbi.gov. Our police department is in contact with the Passaic County Prosecutor's Office, the Sheriff's Office, and OEM of New Jersey State Police, and New Jersey Office of Homeland Security. My personal opinion is that to date, the lack of response in determining the source and purpose of these drones is disgracefully lacking, and they are failing our communities in New Jersey. The mentioned federal agencies, including the FAA, the Pentagon, the Air Force, and any other group and Homeland Security, big one, they have absolutely fallen down on the job on this. Fallen down on the job. I saw them myself, and now they're up in Pennsylvania, and we have pictures of people taking them over their houses. This is unacceptable. To hear our governor say everything's fine, don't worry about it, and to find then he doesn't come to the meeting that he called for all the mayors in the entire state of New Jersey is, I can't even tell you how upset I am about that, and I'm very upset about it. So anything I can say, if you see a drone, call, because that's the only way this thing is going to be addressed, and that's just the way it's going to be, I guess. I also attended and hosted a part of the Garden Bench Memorial for a long time Pompton Lakes Women Club member Gail Filippi, along with Councilwomen Polidori and Kilberg, Mayor Sarah, and Borough Clerk Liz Branson. It was a beautiful dedication, and everybody will enjoy sitting on those benches in the library garden. The holiday stroll was amazing. Special thank you to the fire department and the first aid squad, Karen Murphy, Recreation Commission, and the BID and the DPW crew. And it's always nice to know that when Santa went back to the North Pole, that he was able to talk to our children at the library. And I was told that the reindeer were given food and water by the firefighters and the first aiders, and that when they went back to the North Pole without incident. So I'm very happy to report that. I'm going to just wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays to you and your family. And that is my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kilberg.
In the past month, I attended an EPC meeting. I attended 2 library board meetings, and at our last one, 2 meetings ago, they spoke about putting a plaque honoring Bill Pascrell somewhere outside. I talked to Michael and we'll discuss it at a workshop meeting. I mean, he's done a lot for the town itself, but for the library, he, gave us the $500,000 check that's still sitting in the library. And the Friends of the Library purchased 3 new benches for the Reading Garden, one of which the Women's Club helped purchase in memory of Gail Philippi. And on December 2nd, I attended the dedication ceremony. Gail was a member of the Women's Club and a proud supporter of the library. I attended the League of Municipalities. I attended a recreation meeting, and last night their Christmas party. And they are, I have to say, a group of wonderful people. They're amazing. They do a lot of work for the town. They really do, for the kids, even the adults and the special needs. They really do a wonderful job. There is a breakfast with Santa Saturday, 2 seatings, 8:30 and 10:30. And I also attended the holiday stroll. It was a nice night. It was nice to see so many residents out. It was wonderful. I was going to mention Santa and the North Pole, but I didn't want to two of us to sound a little corny, so I'll skip that. But thank you. And it was nice to see a lot of people in the businesses. A lot of eateries were packed. It was very nice. And thank you to the bid and everyone else who put it together. And last but not least, Eric. I've known you since you moved to town.
Yes.
Yes, we were actually neighbors.
First person I met in town.
Oh, look at that, you're the oldest
And-
knowing him. That's amazing.
Yes. Wonderful person, wonderful friend, wonderful neighbor, and you've done a lot. You've done a lot for everyone in town, and I thank you for that, and I wish you and your family the best, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you around. I'll definitely have your phone number, don't worry. But thank you, and that's my report.
Just to go back, the breakfast with Santa, they're still open seating, is that correct, on both of them? I think there is,
No, I'm not
for
sure.
8:30 and 10:30. If you're interested, contact Karen Murphy at the rec department, or you can go online and pay through Capture Point and put in. There are still some extra seats available, I think. Okay, Borough Attorney.
I'm going to tag on to everyone else and just say what a pleasure it's been working with you, Eric, over this term and the prior term. You are the fount of sound wisdom.
Let's not get crazy.
Other than that, I just
Actually, let my wife hear that.
Yeah.
one more time for the record. Other than that, I just want to wish everyone in the borough and everyone up here happy holidays.
Thank you.
Main Street looks great.
Yeah.
Okay, Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. A few items for tonight. The Pond Hole parking lot with Park Mobile has gone live this week. So we have our daily parking live. So if you go on the Park Mobile app, you will see that live and ready to go. We have seen increased revenue since the launch of the on-street parking. So we're continuing to monitor that, and we'll provide monthly updates to the governing body on the parking. The A1 Auto Body site, we're waiting on a disconnect with the utility companies, which is scheduled for this Friday, December 13th, and the demolition is scheduled hopefully before the new year. So then after the demolition is complete, we will be working with our engineers to finish the remediation of the site and submit our grant reimbursement for that project, which will ultimately be some sort of park, which we'll discuss with the Open Space Committee at a future meeting. And I just wanted to say to Councilman DeLine, thank you for all of your mentorship and for bringing me on board. And I look forward to seeing you at all of our professional association dinners.
I could actually
and,
join a full
events.
membership.
But sincerely, thank you, and happy holidays to everyone.
So one thing I just want to, and Michael, you can jump in here, just so the council's aware, we were going to build a new salt dome, and it was supposed to be done by December. Well, as things go, it's not going to be done by December. So Michael worked out an arrangement with, I think, Bloomingdale, correct?
Yes.
So we can keep our salt there, so we won't have any issues with salt, because, we need to have that covered and ready to go, and we didn't really want to go all the way down to Wayne to pick it up when we had to. So thank Michael for working out a deal with Bloomingdale, so our guys can get over there and get the salt. It should be done hopefully in the next month, right? They're hoping?
Shortly after the new year.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be
This is an
back.
interim measure just in case it snows.
Right, okay. Any questions for the administration?
No.
Nope, okay, Mike, you're up again.
Thank you, Mayor. On for workshop tonight, I just have a simple proposal for you all. As you know, the borough received the $10,000 grant from the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities to fund a community energy plan. A community energy plan helps a community work toward a better environment by using the state's energy master plan as a guide to align local efforts. This plan will help us look at cost-saving measures in terms of our energy usage over the course of many years. So I do have a proposal from Colliers Engineering. They are licensed by the Board of Public Utilities to perform this service. It's for a cost of $13,000. I'm bringing it forth to you because there's an additional $3,000 that is not covered by the grant, but the CFO and I have identified available funds. So if there's no objections, we will put it on the January agenda for approval. So thank you.
Anybody questions, concerns?
Just, what is it that we're gonna get?
We're getting grant funding to conduct a community energy plan. And basically what it does is it looks at solar, lighting, gas costs, and it finds ways that we, the borough, can save money for us and for the residents as well, privately.
Survey.
So we'll be able to use this plan for years to come.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, just before we go, I forgot to thank the DPW for all the time and energy. Someone mentioned the Christmas lights look good. They spent a lot of time and energy putting those lights up during the week, so thank them for that. Okay, motion to open the meeting for public comments.
So moved.
Councilman Cruz, Council President Devine, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? You step up, well, go ahead, you come up first.
Jay Trumbauer, 130 Legion.
I'm sorry, your first name?
Jay Trumbauer, 130 Legion Street. Are you guys gonna talk about the cameras in the parks again? Or was that approved then? Or?
In the new year.
Okay, so the $90,000 deal with the parks and the cameras, talk about it next meeting?
Yeah, we haven't brought that, well, I'll address it at the end, but.
As far as the drones go, I mean, I understand we can call if we knock one down somehow. I mean, is that an issue? Is there any legality with that?
Yeah, there is actually, but I'll talk about that after.
Just curious. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yeah.
Forgot something earlier. Michael Riga, 56 Spruce Street. Again, I just wanted to thank the council for passing the baseball project. I just wanted to say about sports in town and athletic fields. You heard it earlier, people talk that visit our fields and they don't really have the greatest comments to say about it. I know a lot of you have been involved with sports, you've probably heard of them yourselves. That being said, I'm very happy that you guys helped out PLRYO, I was former president there, with their project a few months back. And now we're moving forward with the baseball field and helping them, much needed. I think it's time that the township starts investing more into the sports in town, the athletic programs, whether it's PLRYO, the PLRLL. Most towns have a budget that they support youth sports. I did research a few years ago when I was president, and I mean, it comes to thousands of dollars that whether they're completely taking care of the fields or whatever, and that's not something I'm suggesting now because I know you have a budget, but every little bit helps from the township if they could help us, well, the sports in town. My boys have kind of aged out of it, they're in high school now, but it's very important. I work trying to raise money, it's very difficult as a volunteer to do that. And if the township could help in any way, any of these programs, it would be real beneficial to the kids. And it would also help maybe prevent some of these comments, because they're working on tight budgets and it's very difficult to beautify maybe the properties and things like that. But I also would suggest, I mean, we mentioned the flooding and the impact. I think it's also time that the town starts looking at purchasing non-flood properties, maybe to build a ball field on. I know we have the one by the school, but that's not really a baseball field. And maybe there's some properties, and I've seen a couple of lots around town. Maybe it's time to purchase some home properties and put an athletic field somewhere. But there's somewhere in the master plan down the road, it should probably be discussed, because you don't want to keep losing fields to flooding. And that's really all I have to say, but thank you again.
Anyone else from the public? He's coming up. You're next. Come on.
Matt Sinkey, 49 Pumpton Ave. Want to thank the council for seeing fit to appoint me to the redevelopment agency. Haven't met most of you. I've met some of you. Really excited to get involved with what is probably one of the most critical things going on in town, right? Pompton Lakes has an amazing downtown. I think the stroll showed that. We have, the bones that most towns and cities die for, a walkable, compact downtown. And I think redevelopment really is an opportunity to continue to revive the downtown, and looking forward to working with all of you and the redevelopment agency, and have a great new year, and congratulations on leaving the council.
That's some free time. No, that's a perfect sentiment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Last time. Randy Hitton, 443 Montclair Avenue. I had a question on resolution 24441, right in the middle of the page.
Okay.
And then you're doing road work for all the years that I've been on Shade Tree Commission, which I'm gonna have to step down from. I've been all over town, I've been up and down every street. You're looking at road work. Laurel Avenue is a dead end, and you're down to the 3/4 stone. It's atrocious. So if you can write Laurel Avenue down, that's in desperate need of road work. Speaking for the Shade Tree Commission again, we're having a planting this coming Thursday, next Thursday, and 24 trees in 21 different locations. You want to get emotional, Eric? That's my emotion. It's my last planting, so pick some good ones. And to say that I'm not going to be at this podium anymore, I'd like to welcome Paul Bobie, because he'll be taking my place.
No one can take your place.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else from the public would like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session? Motion. Council President Klein, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Jay, thank you for stepping up. Unfortunately, shooting down a drone is not only not a local offense, it's a federal offense. You can't shoot them down. Right, so if that happens, I don't know. But no, and that was one of the reasons they had the actual meeting today, because a lot of the mayors and senators and assembly from Jersey are saying we need to get the federal government involved and shoot one of them down to see where they're coming from. The thing that did come up today, though, at the meeting, because I spoke to someone who was there, that they kind of go dark as soon as you go close to them, which is another problem. They go dark and they can't find them. So, but it's as Councilwoman Kent, I can't go back and forth, but Councilman Kent said, it's a concern. It's a concern for everybody here. Mike, thank you for your response. And my heart is in ball fields and kids. The problem is that some groups don't want to give up their hold on the groups they hold. At the same time, we should offer some more to help them. I understand that. So, I mean, that's a give and take there, and there's some communication that could probably happen with that. Unfortunately, most of the houses that we take down are in the flood zone. So we'd be having to look for property. It's a 3-mile square town. There's very few properties available. We'd have to be tearing down an actual home, tax dollar home, and put fields there, which I don't see that happening. Unfortunately, just the way our town is and where we are, our flood zones are our fields. Now, that doesn't mean they can't look good, and that doesn't mean we can't put time and energy into them. But I think, as Councilman Cruz mentioned, you put all that time, and you know this, put all that time and energy into a field, and then a storm comes through, and you're starting from scratch again. It's just this is what Pompton Lakes does. I've been doing this for a long time, and many, many storms community comes out, the residents come out, the businesses come out, and we put it back together again, knowing we'll probably have to do this again in the next 2, 3, 4 years. We've been lucky. We've been on a streak for like 10 years before this last year where we didn't have an issue. And that's a long time. I go back a couple years where every year we were doing fields. So it is a problem. And it's amazing that we have such a good program with all our feeder programs to give us the high school programs that we have from the kids that we're training here in the local programs. So to me, it's very important. If we can help in any way, the town is always available to help in any way we can. So all the groups should understand, just ask, and we'll see what we can do. Matt, thank you for stepping up. Thank you for asking to be involved. It's always nice to see a new face come in and get involved in the community. That's what Pompton Lakes is made about. It's volunteers. One of the things I was talking about when I was down with the league is that the mayors, and a lot of the complaints a lot of the mayors have is they can't get volunteers for all their communities and groups. They just can't get people to help. I said, we got the opposite problem. I got waiting lists for some of these groups. I said, so, that's what Pompton Lakes is about, and that's, to me, what makes it special, because we do have people who want to help. Mr. Hinton, 441, you want to address that
Thank you,
one?
Mayor. This is a resolution to apply for grant funding to update our community forestry management plan that's governed by the State Division of Urban and Community Forestry. So it funds up to $5,000 for the professional services.
Okay. I don't know which is going to be worse, you up here talking to me or you back there talking to me, but one way you're talking to me, I know that. So welcome next month as a councilman, and we'll take it from there. And I don't think Mr. Bowlby, as you mentioned, was going to have the energy to do what you do back there, so I don't know about that. Okay, thank you. Where are we going now? Let's see. Privilege of the floor. Anybody have privilege of the floor? No. Okay, motion to adjourn into closed session. Councilwoman
Second.
Holdori, Councilwoman Kilburg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Everyone have a good holiday and a good Christmas. We won't see you again. Thank you.
You're gonna do like ladies, like-
Okay, you're recording. Okay, in closed session, we discussed personnel, negotiation, and legal. Is that what we did? Is it legal?
Yes.
And legal. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Council President DeLine, Councilman Bennett. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Ending litigation.
All righty, have a good night, everybody.